he got a chance to interview the vice president, which is quite cool. There's a lot going on right now.
Where did you go to interview him?
He was in Minnesota. I was there anyway. It worked out really nicely, and he was in great spirits. He's out there talking about the jobs coming back in manufacturing. They want to get the new trade deal, USMCA, done. I also talked about, is Minnesota a place they really think they can win? I mean, Ronald Reagan didn't even win it in '84, but they're gunning for it. This was the vice president yesterday in Minnesota.
Mr. Vice President, thank you so much for joining Fox and Friends. We appreciate it.
Pete, good to be with you in Minnesota.
Yes, it's great to thank you for being in my home state here. You've been around the state today. You're talking about trade, manufacturing, farming, the USMCA. What's your message here?
Right. Well, our message is the American economy is roaring. Thanks to the leadership that President Trump has brought to this country, we have the USMCA that levels the playing field for American manufacturing, for American steel, and it's absolutely essential that the American people let the Congress know that they need to enact the USMCA this year.
Now, do you think Speaker Pelosi's going to do it? I mean, ultimately, Democrats would have to be willing to bring this to the floor.
Well, look, if the USMCA comes to the floor, it's going to pass. And it's going to pass with bipartisan support.
Speaking of trade, China, where are we in this very big trade deal?
Well, the China delegation is here again. The vice premier is here. President Trump said yesterday that he received another good letter from President Xi. He has a strong relationship. We believe a deal is possible, but what President Trump has made clear is we think we're in a very strong position either way.
Now, in Minnesota, we've also made a lot of national news because of one of our representatives, Ilhan Omar. Her district is right next door to here.
Right.
Is she a reflection of the Democrat Party? What's your take today on Ilhan Omar?
Look, Ilhan Omar has made statements, anti-Semitic comments, statements against our most cherished ally, Israel, that ought to be rejected by every American. And frankly, the fact that very recently she's been trying to blame the United States of America for the deprivation and the poverty brought on by the dictatorship in Venezuela. It tells me, look, the people of Minnesota will decide whether or not she remains in Congress. But Congresswoman Ilhan Omar has no place on the House Foreign Affairs Committee, and the Democratic leadership ought to remove her.
Some developments on the Korean Peninsula with North Korea, missiles being fired. We captured a ship or intercepted a ship as well.
Right.
Are we headed in the wrong direction there in the deal to denuclearize?
Well, look, President Trump truly believes that Chairman Kim wants to negotiate, but as he said yesterday, it doesn't look like he wants to negotiate right now. And so, look, we're going to continue to stand firm.
You've heard the reports recently that there's a bipartisan subpoena of the president's son, Donald Trump Jr. What do you make of the subpoena of Donald Trump Jr.?
Look, for 2.5 years, this administration and the Trump family fully cooperated with the special counsel. Literally, millions of pages of documents, thousands of hours of testimony, cooperation, and the Mueller report is in. No collusion, no obstruction. As the Senate Majority Leader said on the floor of the Senate this week, Mitch McConnell said, case closed. And, that's why I think it's frustrating to millions of Americans.
Nancy Pelosi says we're in a constitutional crisis over Bill Barr. Are we in a constitutional crisis?
No. The President and I fully support Attorney General Barr's decision to refuse to testify under the conditions that the Judiciary Committee put forward. I was on the Judiciary Committee for more than a decade. I don't have any memory of a member of the cabinet ever being questioned by committee staff. Mm-hmm. And I served under Republican and Democrat presidents. So look, this is not a constitutional crisis. This can be resolved. We'll leave it to the Attorney General to work out arrangements. But it's time to dial down the rhetoric on Capitol Hill.
Well, good luck with that, dialing down the rhetoric.
But, I mean, he really felt like someone who was truly treating the Barr stuff, the Mueller stuff, as a thing of the past and charging ahead and saying, look at these jobs. Look at right here, this steel factory in St. Paul, Minnesota. It's thriving. I talked to one of the guys on the floor. He said, I've been here for 40 years. It's never been anywhere near as strong as it is right now, and it happened under the Trump administration. He said, I'm not a partisan guy. I just look at the facts. These jobs are coming back. The industry is coming back. if you have that kind of sentiment amongst blue-collar workers, that's a good sign.
Well, no wonder Mike Pence went there.
Yes, that's true. They went to the one that was booming. They also talked to farmers because there's a lot of pressure on Colin Peterson. He's the Democrat chair of the Ag Committee to move the USMCA. Nancy Pelosi doesn't want to give the president a win, but if they moved it, it would pass in the House today, even with Democratic control.
You and I are going to be back on the road in a couple days.
Yes, so Fox Nation has our inaugural summit on May 14th next week in Scottsdale, Arizona. I'll be there. Ed will be there. A number of other folks that you love on Fox Nation and the Fox News channel. So you can go to foxnation.com.
I didn't make the promo, though. It's just all Pete. You
Yep,
notice that?
I had it. It's in my contract. I don't do promos with Ed.
Will you be taking your trophy to Scottsdale?
I am going to take it all the way there. Hope it doesn't break.
Probably
if
will.
I can have that. But it's very funny because he apparently challenged Abby Hornacek. He doesn't know that I know this, but it's on social media, to a one-on-one basketball shooting contest.
Yeah, I saw that y'all were doing that.
Don't break it, Ed. It's not worth that much. But he challenged Abby.
Okay, who won?
No. We have Abby Hornacek, daughter of famous NBA legend.
Yes.
We're going to have a Papa Shot challenge. She claims to be a champ at Dave & Buster's at Papa Shot. Live one-on-one. My dad coached me. The NBA legend coached her. We're going to go one-on-one.
I'm pulling for Abby. Let's go, Abby.
I think a lot of people.
I mean, what are you going to do? You should let the woman win, but then if you do, you're
Those
beat
days
by
are
the
gone.
girl.
Those days are gone.